Okay, so let us continue our discussion from the topic of composition levy scheme. If you remember, that topic is going on, composition levy scheme. If you remember, then this scheme is nothing but a scheme which will promote simplicity. That is the only purpose of composition levy scheme. So let us make a quick revision and let us see what we can remember from the last classes of composition levy scheme. Then I will continue with the remaining portions of composition levy scheme. So let me start a quick revision where you also need to check how much do you remember or how much you have retained as far as the topic of composition levy scheme is concerned. So basically what we have done, composition levy scheme section 10 of the CGST Act. Now if you remember, within composition levy scheme there are two further categories: normal cases, special cases. Special case. As far as normal case is concerned, what is the applicability or condition for normal case? That you must be a registered person. Second, your aggregate turnover of preceding financial year must not exceed rupees 1.50 crores or rupees 75 lakhs in case of 8 states. This is what the point is. If this is the case, then there are 3 different rates available. Then what are the rates? If this is the case, if you are covered under composition levy scheme, then what are the rates? If you remember, there are 3 categories. Are you a manufacturer of goods? Are you a restaurant service provider? Or are you the other eligible supplier? Now, if this is the case, then within this there are 2 types of concepts: maximum rate under CGST, maximum rate. What is the maximum rate? In manufacturing, the maximum rate which Act prescribes is 1%, or for restaurant 2.5%, and here it is 0.5%. But what are the rates, currently prevailing rates? So what Act prescribes is of no use right now, because we are not paying as per the rate which is maximum prescribed by the Act. We are paying the tax as per the rate which is applicable right now. So currently prevailing rates are how much? Do you remember? For manufacturing, it is 0.5% of turnover in a state or UT. For restaurant, it is same 2.5% of turnover in a state or UT. For other eligible, it is 0.5% of turnover of taxable supply. This is the change. So taxable turnover is counted. Taxable supply in a state or UT. This is what the point is. So these 2 words are relevant. What is exactly aggregate turnover? This we need to discuss in detail. Now simple meaning of turnover is sales. Aggregate means total, so that is total sales per year. But what this total sales include and what this total sale does not include, that we need to check. This is one thing. Similarly, we need to check what is the meaning of this turnover in a state or UT. We need to check it carefully because it is the value on which I have to pay the tax to the government of India. Then I need to check this taxable supply of a state or UT. Turnover of taxable supply in a state. So these three words are main. And what is the special case? And what is the applicability of special case? Do you remember applicability of special case? First, you must be a registered person. Second, you must be ineligible under normal case. Only then you can come here. Ineligible under normal case. You must be ineligible under normal case. You cannot directly check special case applicable for you. You have to first become ineligible under normal cases, then you have a right to ask for special case if conditions are satisfied. And third is aggregate turnover of preceding financial year does not exceed 50 lakh rupees. I hope you remember these points. Kindly unmute and reply. Do you remember these things or not? Kindly unmute and reply. Kindly unmute and reply. Do you remember these things? Hurry up, kindly reply. Do you remember or not? Kindly reply in yes or no. Do you remember or not?
Yes, sir.
I cannot see your screen because when this pen tablet whether your hands are raised or not. So you have to reply. Okay. Now see what is the main thing which is happening. Whether I am eligible for composition levy scheme or not this year, I am dependent on turnover of last year. Carefully listen. Whether currently or in this year I am eligible to pay tax under composition levy scheme or not, it does not depend upon my aggregate turnover of this year. It depends upon aggregate turnover of last year. But how much tax I need to pay, that depends on this year's turnover, as you can see here. So let me tell you with the help of an example. My current financial year is 1920. Sorry, not 1920, 2021 is my current financial year. And my preceding financial year is 1920. Mr. A is a manufacturer. Of goods in Haryana. Now, aggregate turnover of 1920 of Mr. A was rupees 1.40 crore rupees. Now, since last year turnover of Mr. A was 1.40 crore rupees, it makes what happened? What is the implication of this point? It made Mr. A eligible. It made Mr. A eligible to opt for composition levy scheme in financial year 2021. So whether I am eligible to opt for composition levy scheme this year or not, it does not depend upon this year's aggregate turnover. It depends upon last year's turnover. This is one point. But when it comes to pay tax to the government of India, then it depends upon this year's not aggregate turnover, this year's turnover in a state or UT. Now, for example, this year, if this year turnover in Delhi is equal, sorry, not Delhi, for example, this year's turnover in Haryana is rupees 90 lakhs. Then can you tell me how much tax I need to pay? Then GST payable under composition levy scheme is how much? How much is GST payable under composition levy scheme? Can anyone tell me 90 lakh multiplied by how much? For a manufacturer, the rate is how much? 0.5% CGST and 0.5% SGST. So total becomes 1%. I have to pay tax of rupees 90,000. This is what the point is. So what I wanted to convey to you, whether this year you are eligible for composition levy scheme or not, it depends upon last year's turnover, which is this. And if I say last year turnover, turnover means this word aggregate is necessary. But when it comes to pay tax, to compute the tax this year, then it does not depend upon aggregate turnover last year. It depends upon not aggregate turnover of this year. It depends upon turnover of a state this year. This point. Then I will check this word. Turnover in state. That means my state is Haryana. So it is not aggregate turnover of A. When I say aggregate turnover, technically aggregate means total. So this is it is like mathematics. Okay, it is my aggregate turnover. This box is my aggregate turnover. It includes what? So it is Mr. A total turnover. It includes the turnover of Haryana. Maybe A is also a businessman in Punjab. It includes the turnover of Punjab. Maybe A is also doing some export. It includes exports also. So aggregate turnover, I will tell you later on, technically is total turnover. But tax is always paid on turnover of one state. For example, in Haryana, if I am supposed to pay the tax, I will check the turnover of Haryana multiplied by the rate. I hope the point is clear. In case you have any issue, you can ask me. Otherwise, I simply wanted to tell you that what or where we will use the aggregate turnover of preceding year and where we will use the turnover in a state. When it comes to pay tax to the government of India under composition levy scheme, I will use the word turnover in a state. But when it comes to check whether I am eligible to pay under composition levy scheme or not, I will check aggregate turnover, and that too not of this year but of last year. I hope this point is clear. The next point. I hope the screen is visible still. So next point now. So what another concept we have covered? What else we have already covered? That when these schemes are not available or not applicable, when this composition levy scheme is not applicable, what else we have already covered? So normal case of composition levy scheme, special case of composition levy scheme. So in which cases it is not applicable? When you are a non-resident taxable person, You can unmute and reply if you remember when you are a casual taxable person. When you are supplying those goods which are not, those goods or services which are not leviable to CGST. This is what we have covered. When you are a supplier of goods through an ECO, electronic commerce operator, where electronic commerce operator is liable to collect tax at source, then you cannot avail composition levy scheme benefit. Do you remember other points? When you are engaged in interstate outward supply, then you are not eligible to opt for normal case. Then when you are engaged in manufacturing of notified goods, like pan masala, tobacco, aerated waters, ice cream. Now these 6 ineligible points are common in special case also. Non-resident, casual taxable person, this point ECO, interstate, this. But one point was different here. When you are supplying services, other than what? Restaurant service. Do you remember this or not? I told you this. So when you are supplying these services, because you must remember that initially, you must remember that what was the purpose of this normal case and special case. Initially, when on 1st July 2017, when GST came into India, when 1st July 2017, when GST came into India, at that time, this scheme was applicable on supply of all goods plus only one service, which is restaurant service. This was the purpose on 1st July 2017 when GST came into India. On 1st July 2017, when GST came into India, this composition levy scheme was on supply of any type of goods and only one service was covered, which was restaurant service. But I told you in the last class also that in some cases, like electrician is the best example, electricity shop is the best example. There's so many times to supply goods, you need to supply some services also. Some services also. So in the second stage, after 2 years, after around 2 years, this scheme was extended to, after around 2 years, after 2 years approximately, this scheme was extended to whom? That even services are also covered, that you can supply services also other than restaurant service, because restaurant service is by default covered originally also. So other than restaurant service, you can supply other services also, but up to a limit. Up to a limit. And what is that limit? That limit should be less than equal to higher of, should be less than equal to higher of rupees 5 lakh or 10% of aggregate turnover of preceding year. Always you should remember where you are using the word preceding and where you are using the word current year. Do you remember this point or note? That initially, if you are supplying services other than restaurant service, then you cannot avail that normal case of composition levy scheme. But gradually, when government received some representations and government found that yes, there are some genuine people who must be supplying goods, and at that time they must be giving some services also. So why not to provide the benefit to those people also? So they put a limit that when services is not a substantial portion. So how they are defining substantial portion? Government said that when you are supplying goods and you are supplying services also, and if your value of service which you are supplying is not exceeding higher of 5 lakh or 10% of aggregate turnover of preceding financial year. If your value of service does not exceed this value, example, I told you this, in financial year 1920, the aggregate turnover was 80 lakh or 85 lakh. Then 10% is how much? 850. So in financial year 2021, I can supply services also, and still I can claim the normal case of composition levy scheme, but the value of supply of service must not be exceeding how much? 10%, 850 or 5 lakh, whichever is higher. So which is higher? 8 lakh 50. So if I'm supplying the value of supply of service in the financial year 2021 till 8 lakh 50,000, I can still opt for normal case of composition levy scheme. The moment it exceeds 850, then I will become ineligible to opt under normal case of composition levy scheme. This is what the point is. So this point is explained in the next slide. This is what I was explaining. That's it. If you remember, in special case, the another different point was notified services. In some supply of services, you cannot avail special case of composition levy, but I told you that till today we have no such service which has been notified by the government. So till today this scheme is applicable to all these services, just like pan masala, tobacco, aerated waters, ice cream. These are notified goods on which composition scheme is not available. We don't have any list of some services where composition levy scheme is not available. This is what the point is, which we have already covered. But you must remember that special case of composition levy scheme is only applicable when you have become ineligible to opt for normal case of composition levy scheme. This is what the point. This is just the revision. In case you have any problem, you please ask. Then I will show you the act, and then I will complete the remaining portions of composition levy scheme. Please raise your hand if it is clear. It was just a revision because it's a theory subject and we need to revise what concepts we are covering. Please raise your hand if you remember these concepts or if you know these concepts carefully. Okay. Now, before proceeding further, let me make you remember one more point. That initially this composition levy scheme was on supply of all goods and only restaurant service. At the second stage, this scheme was extended to all other services also, but up to some limit. And in the third stage, the special case came into picture, where this scheme was extended to all services and no such limit of 10% of aggregate turnover of 5 lakh rupees. All services plus all goods. This is the special case where there is no limit. Of course, the limit of aggregate turnover stays. Of course, the aggregate turnover of preceding financial year, if you remember, must not exceed 50 lakh. That is a separate case. But other than this, in the current year, there is no turnover. Otherwise, in this case also, this 8 lakh 50 in my example was the current year's supply of service limit. But here there is no current limit. Here there is no current year limit on turnover. Till 5 lakh rupees, there is, till 50 lakh rupees, there is no limit. This is what a separate point is. I hope this point is clear that initially it was for all goods and restaurant service. In the second stage, this scheme was extended to all services where there is a limit on the value of service. In third stage, this scheme was extended to all services and of course by default all goods. But normally all these goods will be covered under normal case. So normally we don't concentrate here this concept all goods. So in the act it is written all goods special case, but normally when goods are supplied by default I will be covered under normal case. So hardly there is any need arises when supply of goods will not be covered under normal case. Otherwise these will be covered under normal case. So there are less chances that I will use special case of composition levy scheme when I supply the goods. But in both the cases, normal or special, goods are available. Anyhow, now let me proceed further and let me discuss with you next concept. So what sections, if you remember, we have covered? So what are the covered sections? What sections we have covered? Covered sections of composition levy scheme are what? Section 10 subsection 1, 10 subsection 2 and 10 subsection 2a. 10.2a was covering my special case and 10.1 and 10.2 is covering my normal case. Now the next concept is lapse of the scheme. This is the new point now, which I will discuss with you now. When the scheme will be lapsed, lapse of composition levy scheme. When the scheme is lapsed, so whether you are covering normal case or you are covering special case, when the scheme will lapse. So let me show you the act now. So let me discuss with you composition levy now through the act. So it is section 10 subsection 1 which we have discussed. Section 10 subsection 2 we have already discussed. You can see the highlighted text. Section 10 subsection 2a we have already discussed, and now let me come to section 10 subsection 3, and it says what? Now see the language. The option availed of by a registered person under subsection 1. So what is the option under subsection 1? Normal cases. Or subsection 2a. What is this subsection 2a? Special case, as the case may be. So whether you are availing normal case or special case, it doesn't matter. It shall lapse. So when it will be lapsed, with effect from the day on which his aggregate turnover during a financial year exceeds the limit specified under subsection 1 or subsection 2a, as the case may be. So what are the aggregate turnover limit under subsection 1? Under normal cases, the limit is 1.5 crore rupees or 75 lakh depending upon which state. And under subsection 2a, what is the aggregate turnover limit? 50 lakh rupees. But do you notice some change here? Can anyone tell me what is the change here? Can you notice some change? Can you notice some change in the aggregate turnover? Can you notice some change? Can anyone tell me that what change is there? Please unmute and reply if you can notice some change in the language. In the aggregate turnover, can you notice a change? Is it possible for you to notice the change? Screen is available in front of you. Can you notice that change? Let me see whether you can notice the change or not. Prachi, can you notice the change?
So that's talking about current financial year's aggregate turnover.
Yeah. Very good. Yes, this is the change. Now the change is what? Now see, here the language used is aggregate turnover during a financial year. During a financial year. In earlier subsections, it was using aggregate turnover during the preceding financial year. So that is why whenever you read any original act, read it slowly and word by word to gain the expertise in any topic. Preceding word is missing here. Let me show you other subsections above. I hope screen is visible. Here you can see the language under subsection 10. Under section 10, one is what? Aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year. So you have the word preceding. Same thing is written in 10(2)(a). 10 subsection 2(a), where aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year. But now what is written? Not preceding, aggregate turnover during a financial year. So it is a new concept now. So let me come back to my copy, where I will show you with the help of this example. So till this point, so I'm this is what section 10(3). Till section 10(3), I was always saying what? What I was saying till 10(3). Till 10(3) reading, what I was saying, that aggregate turnover of last year is relevant. Preceding financial year. That means, for example, my preceding financial year is 1920. I was checking this last year turnover. Now I need to check what? Current year's turnover. Now I will check aggregate turnover of current year, that is financial year 2021. If my aggregate turnover of 1920, suppose Mr. A in Delhi, Mr. A from Delhi. So for Mr. A in Delhi, the turnover limit is 1.50 crore rupees. If last year the aggregate turnover was 1.40 crore, it made me eligible this year to opt for composition levy scheme. It made me eligible this year to opt for composition levy scheme. This is the only point. But now this year, up to how much amount I can continue to opt to pay under composition levy scheme? If Mr. A is a manufacturer, up to how much amount? Like for example, my first quarter sale, April to June 20. My first quarter sale, my first quarter aggregate turnover is rupees 60 lakh. No problem. My next quarter, July 20 to September 20. My quarter aggregate turnover, rupees 50 lakh. Next quarter, October 20 till December 20. My quarter aggregate turnover is rupees 70 lakhs. Okay, now see the turnover. 60 lakh in first quarter, 50 lakh second quarter. Total becomes 1 crore 10 lakhs. Now when you add this quarter, it will become 1 crore 80 lakhs. So the option will lapse. That means what will happen? So when it comes to lapse of option, I will check aggregate turnover of this year, not last year. I cannot pay the tax under composition levy scheme, whether it is normal or special case. I cannot pay the tax under composition levy scheme for which quarter? For October to December quarter. I cannot pay. For this quarter, I have to pay tax as per the normal provision because my aggregate turnover in this quarter exceeded 1.50 crore rupees. So that means in these two quarters, I will pay under composition levy scheme, no problem. I will pay under composition levy. But in the next quarter, third quarter, my aggregate limit exceeded 1.50 crore being a person in Delhi. So for October, December, I cannot pay the tax under composition levy scheme. For October, December, assuming that the rate of GST is 18%, assuming the rate of GST on these goods are 18%, do you know how much tax I will pay? How much GST I will pay? GST paid for this quarter will be how much? Paid for this quarter will be supply, value of supply multiplied by normal GST rate, 18%. That will be 18 sevens of 108, 126, 126. So 12 lakh 60,000 I need to pay. So this shows me that the option will lapse when the turnover of current year, aggregate turnover of current year exceeded the ceilings, whether that ceiling is 1.50 crore, 75 lakhs or 50 lakh, depending upon the case. But whatever is that ceiling, if this year aggregate turnover exceeded that ceiling, the moment it exceeds, the option will lapse. This is what I need to pay. And what the act was saying, when the option will lapse, you have to pay as per the normal provision. So when option will lapse, you have to pay as per normal provision. Can you tell me what are the normal provision? Can anyone tell me when option of composition levy scheme is lapsed? This is what the act says. In case it is lapsed, then tax has to be paid as per normal provision. Can you tell me? Has to be paid as per normal provision. So what are normal provision? Can you tell me? Has to be paid as per So what are normal provision? The provisions are what? Section 9.1. There are only 5 sections, 9.2, sorry, 9.3, 9.4 and 9.5. Here ECO pays the tax. Here the tax is paid on reverse charge mechanism, and here the tax is paid on forward charge. So logically, I am assuming that ECO and these are not the cases because composition levy scheme is not available here. So this is the only section which says normal, and that is why I am paying tax here as per 9.1. Value of supply multiplied by tax rate. That's it. Is this Concept clear? That when the scheme is lapsed, please raise your hand if the concept is clear. In case you have any problem, you can unmute and ask me without any hesitation. In case it is clear, please raise your hand. Okay, now next subsection. Let me again show you the act. Now, what are the limitations? A taxable person to whom the provisions of subsection 1, that means normal cases, or as the case may be subsection 2a, that means special case. So anyone who is paying tax under composition levy scheme, whether under normal case or special case, shall not collect any tax from the recipient on supplies made by him, nor shall he be entitled to any credit of input tax. What do you mean by this? Again, let me simplify this point for you, that what this is meant. What is meant by this point? It is my section 10, subsection 4. I can say limitations of the scheme. So what are the limitations? Now suppose you are paying as per normal. Suppose normal provisions are applicable, not composition levy scheme. Suppose normal provisions. So what happens in case of normal provision? Mr. A, Mr. K, and Mr. G. So you are the manufacturer. You purchase goods of 10 lakh rupees at 18%. Okay, spelling of manufacturer you can correct. So manufacturer of goods. Now you paid 180 to Mr. K. I hope it is making sense to you. 180 you paid to K, and K, what K did? K paid rupees 180 to the government. 180 collected from you. So you are Mr. A. So A is you. So you are Mr. K. Mr. A, not K, Mr. A. You are Mr. A. K paid 180 collected from you to the government of India. This is what the point is. You are selling the same product at 15 lakh rupees. And again at the rate of 18%. So you collected how much? How much will it be? 18 into 15. 2,70,000 you collected from G. And what you are doing now? So how will your tax sheet will be prepared? You will say that tax on outward supply. Outward supply means sales. How much is the tax on outward supply? How much is the tax on outward supply? 2,70,000. And you will say that I have paid tax on my inward supply. Inward supply means purchases, and it is known as input tax credit. That whatever tax you have paid, that you are not supposed to pay again to the government. It is known as ITC, input tax credit, which is 180. So how much tax is payable by you? This is normal provision. $90,000, because ultimately the total revenue which government will get from this sale is 90. So government of India has to get 270. And what government has done? Government has received 180 from Mr. K, and government will receive 90 from Mr. A. This is how the chain goes on. So ultimately government has got the revenue of 270, but from different people. K deposited 180 and A will deposit 90. But this is under normal scheme. But when composition scheme is covered, when composition scheme is made applicable, then what happens? Mr. A will directly pay to the government how much? You will pay directly to the government how much? Since you are a manufacturer, for manufacturer the effective rate is 1% on turnover in a state, assuming 150. So you will pay directly 15,000. And what are the implication? You cannot, you means A, you cannot collect this amount from Mr. G. You cannot collect. You have no right to collect this amount from Mr. G. Here you are collecting 270 from Mr. G. You are collecting 270 from Mr. G. But under composition, you cannot collect 15,000 from Mr. G. Further, you cannot claim ITC. It is not allowed. No ITC allowed. This 180 now you cannot claim. It is not allowed to you. It is not allowed. So technically, government in that case will not give refund of 1,80,000. When you claim ITC indirectly, you are getting a refund of 1,80,000 when you claim ITC. So here, when you purchase the goods, 1,80,000 you paid to K, and K has paid to whom? Government of India. So that 180 will remain with the Government of India. 1,80,000 becomes permanent amount which will remain with the Government of India. And on further sales, just for simplicity, had it been normal circumstances, government would have earned 280. Had it been normal circumstances, government would have earned how much? How much government would have earned? 270 had it been normal circumstances. This is the total revenue which government would have earned. And now how much government has earned when under composition levy? 180 technically. This is what the government has earned already, because no ITC is allowed. So 180 will remain with the government permanently, and government will earn this 15 only. So now under composition levy, effectively the government has earned how much? Rupees 1,95,000. Had it been normal situation, the government would have earned how much? 270. So under composition there is a loss to the government of how much? 75,000. But to promote simplicity, government says there is no problem. We are ready to bear this loss, just to make sure that the businessmen or small businessmen are saved from unnecessary compliances. So technically in composition levy, because whenever simplicity is promoted, of course government will lose the revenue. But government is not there to earn the income only. It is necessary that government provides some simplicity to the people. Under Income Tax Act also, when you follow presumptive taxation, government loses the revenue, but at least simplicity is promoted. So in composition levy also, government is losing 75,000 in my example. Had it been normal case, government would have earned 2,70,000. Since it is composition levy situation, government will earn around 1,95,000, so there is a loss. But the point is ITC cannot be claimed, because if you start claiming ITC, then government will lose this 1,80,000 also. So government simply didn't want to earn only 15. Government says ITC is not allowed, because if government allows ITC, then A will claim the refund of 1,80,000 also. So ITC is not allowed. Second, government says that if we are losing 75,000, then you also have no right to collect tax from the recipient of goods and services. Pay 15,000 from your own pocket. That's it. This is what the limitation is. Now next point, I hope this point is clear. Any problem you can ask me, otherwise the next point is wrongly claiming the scheme. Wrongly claiming the composition levy scheme. Wrongly claiming. It is section 10(5). So when you wrongly claim, then what happens? Then there is a penalty. So let me show you section 10(5). This is my 10(5). I hope the screen is visible. If the proper officer has reasons to believe, proper officer means income tax, not income tax, GST department officers. So the people who are in administration of GST laws. If the proper officer has reasons to believe that a taxable person has paid tax under subsection 1, under subsection 1 means normal case, or subsection 2A, special case, as the case may be, it depends, despite not being eligible. When you were not eligible, then why you have paid tax under composition levy scheme? Then such person shall, in addition to any tax that may be payable, in addition to any tax that may be payable by him under any other provision. So what are any other provisions? What are any other provision? 9(1), 9(3), 9(4), 9(5). So normally under 9(1) you can say forward charge cases. So what is the tax payable under forward charge cases as per the applicable GST rates? Then not only you have to pay that tax, apart from that, you will be liable to a penalty. And when you pay the penalty, the provisions of section 73 or section 74 shall, mutatis mutandis, it is a Latin word, it means as it is, apply for determination of tax and penalty. So what is the point behind this? It is to discourage those people who want to claim this simplified section of paying the tax wrongfully. It is basically for small businessmen. So don't claim it by default. If you do so, then what you will have, what are the implications? You have to pay tax as per normal provision, plus penalty also. So normal provision means pay tax as per 9(1) or 9(3), 9(4), 9(5), whatever is the case, it depends. So whatever is the case applicable on you. If it is IGST, then it will become 5(1), 5(3). So it depends. So whatever is the normal case. Okay, these are IGST Act. So it depends. Whatever is the normal case, then pay tax plus penalty also. This is what the point is. And now only 2 points are pending. If you see the act now, I will wind up the class within 5 minutes. I hope you can wait for 5 minutes. Let me wind it up. So what concepts are basically left? Let me show you the act. Aggregate turnover, that is left. Turnover in a state or UT, the meaning of that is left. And we have some explanations. Let me show you broadly. We have some explanations of section 10, that for the purpose of computing, let me show you the highlighted text. For the purpose of computing aggregate turnover, the expression aggregate turnover includes what and it does not include what. So these things are given. So these definitions, aggregate turnover and turnover of state, are not defined in this section 10. These are defined in section 2 clause 112. As you can see, I will show you this in the next class. Section 2 clause 112 defines that what is exactly the turnover in a state or UT. And similarly, aggregate turnover is defined in section 2 clause 6. So technically these are having special provisions. As you can see, section 2 clause 6, what is the meaning of aggregate turnover? So these 2 points are pending, which I will discuss with you in the next class. And in the next class, our topic of composition levy will be 100% over.
Sir, which book should we buy for GST?
I don't recommend any book. I prefer the material of the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India for the time being, and ACT and these lectures. This is my advice.
Okay, sir.
Otherwise, there will be so many books available. You can search yourself and you can find that which book is comfortable.
Okay, thank you.
So what are the pending provisions for our next class? Meaning of aggregate turnover, which is defined in section 2 clause 6. Meaning of turnover in a state, or UT, which is defined in section 2.112. But I cannot adopt these as it is. I cannot. This is what you will also learn, that how to learn the, not learn, how to apply the definitions. I cannot adopt these as it is. I need to merge. So I have to merge the knowledge of what? Section 10 also, which I am currently studying, composition levy. And then I will form a decision. I will take a decision, composition levy scheme. Because if I show you the section 10 later on carefully, you will find that section 10 clearly says that in the aggregate turnover, what should be included and what should not be included. The section 10 clearly says that what should be included in turnover in a state and what should not be included. So the definition is written in these sections of the GST laws, but always I have to refer those definitions as per the provisions of that respective section which we are studying. Like if I am studying composition levy scheme, I cannot simply read section 2 definitions, because these definitions are common for the entire GST Act. I need to refer this in the context of section 10. So this is pending. Detail I will tell you in the next class. So that's all from my side for today's lecture. I will wind up these two definitions with the help of some numericals in the next class. So goodbye for the time being, and if you have any problem, you are free to discuss your doubts with me. Goodbye for the time being. Thanks.